So Louise, a chariot.
This is a beauty. This chariot was created by Charles Carmel, and it's another one of the pieces that was purchased by Borelli. Borelli's the man who takes other people's pieces and he puts jewels in them. I got an email from a woman this past year saying she had a Carmel chariot for sale and wanted to know if the museum wanted to purchase it. And I emailed her back and said, thank you so much for thinking of us, but we just don't have the kind of funding to buy a piece of this magnitude. And I said, but if you're interested in donating it to us, get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you. A couple of days later, I got another email from her saying, come and get it, donating it to the museum.
Wow.
And so I got two guys in a truck and took off for Manhattan and went down and met her, and this was in her living room. And the reason she wanted to get rid of it out of her living room is because she had a new puppy. And the puppy was a boxer who, when I walked in, like looked me square in the eye, big dog. And the dog was using this as its lounge area. All of the dog toys were in here.
Oh, no.
And as you can see, she had already started chewing the corner. So we knew this chariot wasn't long for the world.
Right.
So she very generously donated it to us to get it out of there so it didn't become harmed.
Oh.
She had a magnificent carousel collection, of which this was part.
So Louise, why is this piece in the paint shop unpainted?
I'm hoping it's going to stay that way. It's very rare. It's a Denzel lion, and many years ago a gentleman called me to say he was coming to the East Coast to tend to an elderly mother who probably was going to need to go into a convalescent home. And he wondered if I would babysit their Denzel lion because he wasn't able to take it back to the West Coast. And I did, yeah, sure, nobody has a Denzel lion, so I didn't quite believe it. And then he backed a truck up here, and it's a Denzel lion. So this is an incredible find. And it is obviously in the stripped down to the wood state. And at one point he asked if we would restore it, paint it for him. And I asked him to please not do that because she is so magnificent as she is in the natural wood state that I truly felt it would diminish the piece if they painted it. And so he agreed to. My artists weren't thrilled with me, but you have to do what you think is best for the piece.
Sure.
And keeping it in the natural wood, I feel, is the best for the piece. There's just a splendidly carved lion.
Louise, did we take a wrong turn?
No, this is our Museum of Fire History on the second floor of our building.
Bonus.
And, yeah, it is, absolutely. It's been a wonderful addition to our building. This was donated to us by Carlisle Barnes, who was a local retired businessman, and he had a massive fire memorabilia equipment and fire memorabilia collection. His great-great-grandfather was one of the founding members of the Bristol Fire Department, and Hap was a fire commissioner for many, many years. But he is obviously an avid collector, or was an avid collector.
Can we step inside?
Absolutely. And this, all of this material, or the majority of it anyway, at some point was in his rec room at home, where he set up a mini museum at his house, which was really pretty splendid. The whole thing is wired for sound, so you can turn on alarms and ring bells and the one interesting thing about this is when I was laying out the space for up here, I put this museum directly over my office. So for about the first 3 months, it was open to the public. Every time they turned that on, they had to scrape me off of the ceiling downstairs. But I'm used to it now.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Just a remarkable collection of all kinds of
Buckets and alarm boxes. Amazing. I've always wanted to know what the inside of one of these looks like. Absolutely amazing. The London Fire Brigade.
with the buckets.
Wow.
Boy, that would have taken you a while to put a fire out.
Yeah.
And look at the hats, aren't they spectacular?
Amazing. I mean, I haven't counted, but I'm guessing there must be over 100.
Could be. And actually, helmets from all over the world he's collected.
Ah, I do see. What is this piece? It looks like, oh, a fire protective
Yep.
suit. Amazing.
And of course, more.
Now, are all these sections of the facility open when you have a banquet or a wedding
Yes.
reception?
Uh-huh. And depending upon where it is and how many people are coming, if someone just books the downstairs, we keep the upstairs closed off. But if someone is booking the upstairs, we have the entire building open for that facility rental, so their guests can wander and see the whole facility.
Amazing.
I don't think I've ever had anyone come in here that wasn't surprised.
Right. Well, the list of foreign helmets includes Argentina, Brazil, England, France, Germany, Holland, India, and Mexico.
You know, one of the most interesting things when they were moving the materials in here was how many men it took to carry those wooden ladders in. It's no wonder so much burned to the ground in the early days, because those things are massive and wicked heavy. It took a lot of guys to get those up to the second floor and in place up there.
Amazing.
And these, of course, were probably on ships. And we've thought for the longest time how fun it would be to have these hooked up with hoses.
Right.
We'd have our own water park here.
That's right. Amazing. We're back the way we came in.
Yeah, and a lot of these photographs are the bigger fires in Bristol. And Mr. Barnes also has an audio a component to this, which is not working at this moment. He needs to do something about it. But the bigger fires in Bristol, he has tapes of those, the calls for that, and so they would play in the background.
And that concludes another episode of Day Trip to History and our visit to the New England Carousel Museum in Bristol, Connecticut. I'd like to thank Executive Director Louise DeMars for her hospitality and for taking us on our tour today. You can find the New England Carousel Museum on the web at thecarouselmuseum.org. Thank you for joining me once again. I'm Bob DeToma, and remember, we're all living history right now.